All right. Good morning. Welcome to Southwest Flavor. Happy Tuesday to everyone. Today we have someone special in the studio, Scott Tilley from TRAK Ranch and SMOOCH the donkey. Welcome, you guys. How you doing?
Doing great. Thank you, Ron.
Good. So you've been on the show before, but tell people if they don't know what TRAK is.
TRAK is Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids. We're a local nonprofit that has been impacting Tucson's community for over 18 years. We work largely with kids with and without specific challenges. Probably one of our biggest groups that we work with are kids with autism. The horses seem to have a very unique way of tuning them in. It's the motion, it's the nonverbal communication.
Right. You've always talked about how the horses can, they have that sense. They can, as soon as you walk up to them, they kind of know. They know what you're about. They know kind of your intentions. If you're a dangerous person, or if you're upset, or if you're curious, it just they know your aura around you.
They really do. They are a prey animal.
Mm-hmm.
So naturally their senses are heightened towards predators.
Right.
And we are a predator, and the way they distinguish that is by the eyes. With all predators, eyes in the front means you can hunt. Eyes on the side means you hide.
Right.
And so their natural instinct would be, in the wild, would just be to stay away from us.
Sure.
So as you can imagine, as we work with someone who has autism, they really settle the mind and calm the soul, is what I like to call it. And then that's when the whole cultivation starts. And I say cultivation is because we've used little different cues to get kids that are nonverbal to become verbal. They start to use words, and if it's just something as simple as some foam letters that we put down on on the ground while they're riding the horse, maybe some key phrases like walk, trot, lope, whoa, and then they start to communicate.
Right.
They can follow directions. So I can give them a task to do on the horse, and the task is not an overwhelming task. It's something that they greet that challenge with ambition.
Right. And with some of these kids, they've almost been given up on. Doctors or family members or other people said, "Hey, there's nothing we can do with this kid." He just
Absolutely. They're really, what I've come to find out is there really is not an expert in the field. Everybody has different things that work. And I think it's just more of a never giving up attitude.
Yeah.
And really just kind of looking at trying to find what they're good at and then cultivating that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the kids that I've had, they test at an IQ of 65. To me, they wouldn't be able to get off the chair and be able to do anything. But these kids can come to the ranch. They can get on a horse. They can tack the horse up. They can go catch the horse. They can do different tasks that I ask them to do.
Right.
And, that's the key to learning and key to progression. Just doing normal day-to-day things for some of these folks are a great challenge. Just to go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
You think, you and I take it for granted.
Sure. Jump in our truck.
Just go.
Run over to the.
Just jump the kids in. Let's go. Yeah. But, kids can be a challenge sometimes. But, imagine a kid where, autism and their sensory issues are just overloading. So like a crying baby, set them off. A dog barking. Just different normal things. Just standing in line. Just all the different people around.
Right.
So what I like to call our ranches, we expose them to things and continue to expose them to things that are going to be close to what day-to-day life would be. So going to the grocery store, getting in the car, getting on an airplane, and traveling out here.
Right.
I have a young man that I've been working with for a few years. That travels. They travel from California, and this lady that I'm speaking about, she's an exceptional lady. She's never given up on this child,
Mm-hmm.
and she constantly puts him in front of people who believe in him. And I think that's really the key.
Yeah.
You have to have people who believe in your child. It only takes one bad coach
That's true.
to ruin
Yeah.
a lifetime,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
It only takes one bad coach.
Yeah.
And so when you already have a challenge, you can't afford a bad coach,
Yeah.
right? So, so I think just what we do and how we do it with these kids, and with the animals, they just have a calming effect on them, and then I can really get into the roots of the challenge.
Okay.
And we can start to
Figure out how
we
to
can start to
communicate
find
with them.
avenues of just dealing with the day-to-day stuff,
Mm.
just getting in the car, being
Yeah.
doing these different things. And the one thing that I will also stress is, like, with the Autism Society, a lot of times they're very routine oriented.
Right.
Right. So especially if they're traveling from another state to come and see me,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say, hey, be here at 7:00, because that's when you have the time.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask the parent, when is it good for you?
Sure.
And that may change day to day depending on the night's sleep, or if it, different things. And so I make myself available for these families when they come. And we do two sessions a day generally when they come in. Do like a day session and an evening session,
Okay.
kind of change up what we do.
Yeah.
But it's phenomenal. I've had nothing but success. I really have not had one child come through with autism that I have not been able to help.
Wow. That's awesome. Let's take a quick sponsor break, and we will be back in just a couple minutes with Southwest Flavor.
In Marana, community isn't just where we live, it's who we are. And at the heart of it all is the Marana Chamber of Commerce. We are building a thriving community through connected business leadership. We start the month bright and early with Marana Mornings, sparking real conversations and connections. We celebrate growing networks at our 4th Tuesday mixers, hosted in exciting spaces. We unite visionaries and leaders at Impact Marana, driving meaningful progress together. We look ahead with Marana Insights, hearing directly from regional voices about what's next for our town. And we serve through the passion of our board of directors and ambassadors, creating a culture of belonging through service and leadership. Because of our members, we're not just doing more, we're becoming more. Together, we're shaping the future of Marana. We are the Marana Chamber of Commerce.
Looking for a delicious meal or a place to cater your next event? Visit Tucson Tamale Market, located at 7286 North Oracle Road. They're a family-friendly restaurant and market offering authentic tamales and local products. Don't miss out on their summer bi-weekly specials. Try a new $10.99 meal special every couple of weeks. During the summer, enjoy their gift card special. Buy $50 of gift cards for only $40. Stop by and see what's new at Tucson Tamale Market.
Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road will help you with all your insurance needs. If you feel like you have a hard case due to a moving violation, a DUI, a suspended license or a car accident, contact us and come to Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road and get a quote today. Open late hours y hablamos español. Estrella Insurance, an agency you can trust.
It's July and we're celebrating Independence Day all month. Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing wants to buy your old air conditioning unit. For the month of July, we will buy back your old AC unit for $1,776 with the purchase and installation of a new air conditioning system. Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, keeping you cool all summer long. Call us at 520-492-0748 or picturoxcooling.com.
Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids is an inclusive community empowered and united by the strength of the human-animal bond.
It taught me responsibility. It taught me kindness and social interaction.
We have programs for every member of our community.
I love TRAK because I have 2 daughters. We come out here and get all of our energy out.
TRAK is my home away from home.
You can make a donation or even become a monthly donor.
Thank you for supporting TRAK, Tucson's Ranch. We hope to see you here soon.
I've had water and mold damage in my house twice. Both times I freaked out, but I called Steamy Concepts right away. If anyone tries to tell you to use someone else, just say no way and call Steamy today.
About a year ago, we had a flood in our kitchen, and we didn't think to call anyone else but Steamy Concepts. They were very professional, and we really enjoyed working with Steamy Concepts.
Steamy Concepts accepts all homeowners insurance. Call Steamy today or go to steamyconcepts.com.
All right, welcome back to Southwest Flavor. We're here talking with Scott Tilley of TRAK Ranch, and we have a special call-in guest today also. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Kristen?
Well, Kristen is Jackson's mom.
Aha.
So they live in California, and they come out and visit about every 8 to 10 weeks.
Okay.
Kristen is very involved in the Autism Alliance. Well, Kristen, why don't you talk about it a little bit?
Welcome, Kristen.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Nice to be here. So, yes, we just absolutely love going to TRAK and seeing Scott, or we call him Cowboy Scotty, and Horse Bucky and Horse Earl. And so, yes, my son, who is diagnosed with autism, he's 23 years old, and I am very active in the autism community. I am the president of a national organization called the Autism Hope Alliance.
Okay.
And so we really connect families with companies that are more in the natural products community. And but when I learned about TRAK, I was hesitant because we had tried quote unquote horse therapy before, and it just didn't really go the way we thought, and heard about right here in California. And when we first met Cowboy Scotty, it was as though a whole other dimension, a whole other world came about for my son. And the gains that my son has had is the reason that we literally come from California all the way to Tucson.
Right. How many times a year do you come to Tucson?
So pretty much anywhere from, probably 5 to 6 times a year.
Oh, wow. Okay. So like every other month almost.
It feels that way. Yeah. Cowboy Scotty keeps trying to convince us to move out there, but yes.
And how did you find TRAK in the first place?
So we had a dear friend who's no longer with us, but she used to work with TRAK, and she was the one that convinced me. I remember her calling me and saying, "You have to come out here. It's different than anything you can even imagine." And we had only originally, I think this was Cowboy Scotty will know more than me, but I think it was almost maybe 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. And we had originally only come out for we thought one time only. That's what we thought. We thought we were coming out for this camp, and they were going to customize it for our son. And then my son, the way I saw my son come to life was a way that I had never seen him come to life before. And, I am a beach girl. So for me to go out, in the dirt and, the bugs and the mice and all the other stuff, was a bit of a stretch for me. But when you see my son light up and become the person that I knew was in there, but Cowboy Scotty has some type of magic. It's a magic that I've never seen, and he believes in Jackson in a way that obviously I believe in him as his mom, but to have somebody that literally just meets my son 5 years ago and just has this really special connection with him. And my son really knows, I feel like my son knows that Cowboy Scotty believes in him. And what they do at TRAK, they just don't do anywhere else. I mean, my son rides a horse. He used to be deathly afraid. You can ask Cowboy Scotty. He was deathly afraid of dogs. He was deathly afraid to touch the horse. He was just like, if we got there and we could spend, 10 minutes, we were like all jumping for joy. And now we are literally getting on an airplane and getting into a rental car from there, driving about 2 hours. If you ever came from Scottsdale to Tucson, you can never predict that traffic,
okay.
right?
Sure, right.
and staying at a hotel, and we get to go to grocery stores. And if you're a parent with a individual with autism, that's challenging for many of us. And it's this magic, and it's truly, every time I go there, I tell Cowboy Scotty what miracle is going to happen this time, and it's always a new miracle. I'm always leaving in tears. He almost convinces me every time to move. My son's father is always like, "Are you actually coming home this time?" Right? Because we get there, and my son does things that they said he would never be able to do, and he literally goes there and he gets the horse. He knows the different, parts of the saddle and the stirrup and the latigo. And the fact that I know these words is beyond my comprehension at this point.
It's rubbing off.
But yes, and watching him get to play and get to be with other kids. I mean, I remember 5 years ago, Cowboy Scotty saying, "Kristen, let's get him in the pen playing with the other kids on the horse." I'm like, that's not possible. Not that I didn't believe in my son. I just thought it would be too overwhelming for him. And Cowboy Scotty kept looking at me going, "No, he's going to do it. He's going to do it." And now my son literally asks for the kids there, and they play soccer with these big, huge ball, and they're on horses on a Friday night playing soccer with a horse. I mean, I can't even, I don't know if anyone's listening can picture this, but it's like something out of a fairy tale, right? And the last time we were there, which was last week, I guess, I was just in tears. I was literally just bawling because I was trying so hard not to cry, watching him play with his new friends. That, the last night we had 3 new friends that came out and were so excited to play with him, and they're all, here's 4 kids just playing. They don't look at labels. They don't look at the word autism. They just look at, this is having fun and getting to play with other kids. And they don't look at my son any differently. And that, to me, as a mom, you really can't put a price tag on that. You can't even put that into words other than grateful.
Right. Yeah, there's definitely a magic at TRAK Ranch. And you can tell, what a person's all about by the way they treat their animals. And I mean, all the animals at TRAK they're special, but they're treated so well. And, they're used to having hands-on interaction with not only the staff at TRAK, but with all the different kids. And there's just, there's just something special there.
Yeah, they're definitely, I feel like they're angels sent from above, really, is the best way I can describe it. These horses, they understand the kiddos of all ages. And, my son has really bonded with a few of the horses there, and it's as though they're one when they're walking. They know each other. There's no, think about it, a horse isn't talking back in English, right? And if those that have, diagnosis of autism, many of them have limited language, or they might be non-speakers. There's no language really needed there, right? They have to trust one another. The horse has to trust the person on the horse, and the person has to trust the horse. And it's a really beautiful dance, and it's a beautiful relationship. And I watch my son go on trail rides, and, Cowboy Scotty even helped him learn how to drive a golf cart. I mean, it's it's things that I remember going, oh gosh, I want my son to be able to drive one day, and maybe he's not driving a car. And I joked with Cowboy Scotty. I was like, well, he can ride a horse. And then he started driving the golf cart, and Cowboy Scotty's, well, I guess they're going to have to come up with another what he's not going to be able to do. Right? Yeah. Because we just keep,
What's our next challenge? Come on.
Exactly. So it's just a beautiful relationship. And I just feel so blessed that our dear friend introduced us to this place. It's such a great gift she gave us. And I'm grateful for it every time I go. And it truly is it's a place where miracles happen. And, you think Disneyland might be great. I would trade Disneyland or any amusement park any day of the week if we could just go to TRAK all the time.
Well,
Yep.
I have to do a mic drop right there. I'm just, thank you, Kristen.
Yes,
That's
thank you.
So kind. I don't know if you're watching on YouTube, but I have SMOOCH in the studio this morning.
Oh,
yeah.
SMOOCH has been over here in the studio and at our events several times.
Yeah.
He has.
Well, Kristen, thank you so much for the kind words, and tell my little buddy I miss him, and I hope to see you in a few more weeks.
Yep, he counts down the days. You know it. So, well, as we always say, yeehaw. And thank you again.
All right,
thank
you.
again. You guys have a fabulous rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you, Kristen.
All right. Bye-bye.
So, Scott, you're right in the middle of your summer camp.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have how many more weeks of camp, and do you have some openings still?
We still have 3 more weeks of camp?
Okay.
3 to 4 more weeks of camp. We do have a few more openings. I still have a few more kids on scholarship. It's $400 to send them to a week of camp. These are all low-income kids, or some kids with specific challenges.
Right.
We've got some foster kids that are requesting some sponsorships. So any of you that would like to donate, we can offer you $1 for $1 off on your donation, off of your Arizona state taxes.
Right.
Because we are a qualifying charitable organization. So you can get credit for helping kids and get credit off your Arizona state taxes. It's a win-win.
Perfect.
You can't lose.
Yeah, definitely.
And if you wanna send a kid to camp, you can go to our website. It's TRAK, TRAK, Tucson.org.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming in and bringing SMOOCH in.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah.
My pleasure. It's good to see you, Ron. Thank you.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks, Chris, and everybody here at Live the Dream Media. You guys are phenomenal, and I just I love the family. I love the family orientation here, and
thank you.
And what you guys do, with the community. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, we are going to go to a quick sponsor break. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
In Marana, community isn't just where we live, it's who we are. And at the heart of it all is the Marana Chamber of Commerce. We are building a thriving community through connected business leadership. We start the month bright and early with Marana Mornings, sparking real conversations and connections. We celebrate growing networks at our 4th Tuesday mixers, hosted in exciting spaces. We unite visionaries and leaders at Impact Marana, driving meaningful progress together. We look ahead with Marana Insights, hearing directly from regional voices about what's next for our town. And we serve through the passion of our board of directors and ambassadors, creating a culture of belonging through service and leadership. Because of our members, we're not just doing more, we're becoming more. Together, we're shaping the future of Marana. We are the Marana Chamber of Commerce.
Looking for a delicious meal or a place to cater your next event? Visit Tucson Tamale Market, located at 7286 North Oracle Road. They're a family-friendly restaurant and market offering authentic tamales and local products. Don't miss out on their summer bi-weekly specials. Try a new $10.99 meal special every couple of weeks. During the summer, enjoy their gift card special. Buy $50 of gift cards for only $40. Stop by and see what's new at Tucson Tamale Market.
Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road will help you with all your insurance needs. If you feel like you have a hard case due to a moving violation, a DUI, a suspended license or a car accident, contact us and come to Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road and get a quote today. Open late hours y hablamos español. Estrella Insurance, an agency you can trust.
My heat and air work in a state of disrepair.
It's July and we're celebrating Independence Day all month. Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing wants to buy your old air conditioning unit. For the month of July, we will buy back your old AC unit for $1,776 with the purchase and installation of a new air conditioning system. Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, keeping you cool all summer long. Call us at 520-492-0748 or picturerockschooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids is an inclusive community empowered and united by the strength of the human-animal bond.
It taught me responsibility. It taught me kindness and social interaction.
We have programs for every member of our community.
I love TRAK because I have 2 daughters. We come out here and get all of our energy out.
TRAK is my home away from home.
You can make a donation or even become a monthly donor.
Thank you for supporting TRAK, Tucson's Ranch. We hope to see you here soon.
I've had water and mold damage in my house twice. Both times I freaked out, but I called Steamy Concepts right away. If anyone tries to tell you to use someone else, just say no way and call Steamy today.
About a year ago, we had a flood in our kitchen, and we didn't think to call anyone else but Steamy Concepts. They were very professional, and we really enjoyed working with Steamy Concepts.
Steamy Concepts accepts all homeowners insurance. Call Steamy today or go to steamyconcepts.com.
All right, welcome back. Our next guest is Chris Cummings with Doxa Church.
Yep.
Welcome. How you doing?
Good. Yeah, glad to be here.
How long has the church been there?
We have been a church for 11 months.
Okay.
So not even a year.
So very new. All right.
Mm-hmm. We'll have our first birthday in August.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And you guys are located right in the heart of Tucson.
We are. Yeah, we are Midtown Tucson,
Mm-hmm.
right across the street from the University of Arizona. Literally, Arizona Stadium, go across the street.
Yeah.
There's a middle school called Mansfield.
Right.
That's where we meet.
Right.
So.
And I went to Mansfield many years ago.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. I was there in the mid-'80s.
Very cool.
So, yeah. So I know, except it was a lot smaller then.
Yeah. I think they've expanded the building back a little bit.
Yeah. There's another building, I guess it's over to the east of like where your church is at, and then it runs along 6th Street.
Yeah.
And then that building on the east side, that's all fairly new. Well, like probably 20 years old or something.
It's a great school. Absolutely beautiful architecture.
Yeah.
Like their cafeteria is the most immaculate cafeteria I've ever seen in a school.
Really?
It's just super tall ceilings.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course.
Archways, I'm like, this is amazing for a cafeteria. So we've been really lucky to be in there.
I was told that it was originally a church when they built it, and I think it's around 100 years old.
So that's exactly what I thought.
Yeah.
I asked the principal when we first were inquiring about gathering there, and I was like, this had to have been a church before.
Just from the architecture.
Just from the architectural standpoint. And he assured me that they built it as a middle school from day one. And I was really surprised. And I was like, there's no way. But I guess it's always been a school. I don't know. Maybe he was wrong. But that's what he told me. And I was like, that's crazy. Because it looks like a church from the outside.
It does. It does very much so.
So
tell us a little bit about the church. Was it a plant seed from another church? Or
so Doxa was a dream of ours back in 2019.
Okay.
So a long time ago.
Right before the world ended.
Right before the world ended, yes. My wife and I just started feeling a calling to go plant a new church somewhere in the United States.
Oh, were you here in Tucson?
We were not. No, so we've
Okay.
been in Tucson for 2.5 years now. Originally, we were in South Texas, south of Houston. There's a little island off the coast of Texas called Galveston. That's where we lived for a while.
Oh, wow.
It's where me and my wife met, got married, all that kind of stuff. And so we started feeling this calling that God was leading us to go start a new church somewhere. We didn't know where. At that point in time, we had been fostering our now adopted 4 kids.
Okay.
So we were fostering them and knew that we couldn't legally move. The government really does not like you moving when you have foster kids placed in your home, especially out of state.
Yeah.
And so we just spent a long time just praying, God, where do you want us to go? And over the course of that time, God really laid Tucson on our heart. My wife's sister moved here. We just started learning about the city.
Okay.
And that was kind of our in. And then we made our first trip to Tucson back in 2020 when the world did end. And it was like November 2020. And
Yeah, so like you weren't allowed to do anything.
No.
You weren't allowed to gather. I mean, that was a big thing.
Yeah. No, we just kind of came and drove around to kind of see the city for ourselves and see if we could live here and what it was like here. And I actually remember on that trip, my wife and I were driving around the University of Arizona. We knew that if we planted a church, we wanted to plant a church in a collegiate context. So we wanted to have 1 foot on the campus and 1 foot in the city and the community.
Okay.
I was a college pastor for like 8 years. And so all the places that we looked at planting were near a university campus.
Okay.
And so we were driving around U of A, just kind of getting a feel for the land. And we drove on 6th Street and saw Mansfield and was like, man, that is a beautiful middle school. And I remember leaning over to my wife at that point. We didn't even like decide we were planting here yet.
Yeah.
And I was like, if we plant here, that's where we should start it, is at Mansfield. Like it'd be a great fit. Like it's in the community, but close to the campus, like all these things. And sure enough, like, a couple years later, God opened doors. We were able to move out here. We brought a handful of people from Texas with us to move out here with us to help get the church started.
Okay.
And then we spent about a year and a half building up a team of people. And then August 11th of 2024, we officially opened the doors of Doxa.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before you officially opened the doors, were you having kind of like a little church service maybe at one of your homes or?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
We did like a Bible study on Sunday nights at my house for that season.
Yeah.
And then we called them interest parties. So every month there was an interest party that we threw. And so we would invite people from the community. We would host events and invite everybody to come to these interest parties where we just shared the vision of the church. And that was just the hope and the goal of that was just to build up a team of people that would say, hey, we want to lock arms with these guys and help get this church off the ground. And so we did that rhythm and just had a Bible study at our house to kind of keep people together and continue to cast vision and, build that community up. And then slowly but surely got ready to launch. And then God's just been doing amazing things like ever since. So it's been really cool. Yeah.
So I know you mentioned a lot about being next to the campus.
Yeah.
So what's your vision for the church?
Yeah. So for us, we see the college campus as the city's greatest missional asset. So future leaders of the church, future missionaries, future church planters, lead pastors, likely coming from the campus.
Okay.
And we just really want to tap into that as best as we can and develop people to become church planters and church leaders and the next generation of leadership.
Right.
And so our big vision as a church is Tucson as a whole is just what we would say is very spiritually dry. So
very unchurched.
Very unchurched.
As a population, yes.
Yeah. So Barna Research lists Tucson, Arizona as the 16th most post-Christian church in America. That was a study done in 2019. 2017, they listed Tucson as the 12th most unchurched and de-churched city in America.
Okay.
And we believe that one of the main reasons why that's true, there's a lot of factors, but I think one of the key reasons why that's true is just the lack of churches in the city. So Tucson has one church for about every 17 to 1,800 people. So to put that in perspective, a mega church in the U.S. has an average attendance of 2,000. So it's like one church per mega church worth of population. To frame that in perspective, I grew up Dallas-Fort Worth, which is like the capital of the Bible Belt.
Right.
And Dallas-Fort Worth has one church for every like 275 people.
Oh, wow. Okay. I've been to Tyler, Texas.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing.
Literally every other corner.
Yes.
So like my parents live like South Arlington, which is right in the heart of DFW, like dead center. And there is you go right around the corner from their house. There's a little creek that they call Rush Creek. There is one church is called Rush Creek Community Church. Across the street is the church on Rush Creek. And then down the street is like Rush Creek Methodist, or whatever it might be.
Okay.
And so it's when you drive around, it's just everywhere. And as a result, when you look at those same Barna studies, Dallas-Fort Worth is one of the least unchurched cities in America, one of the least post-Christian cities in America. And so for us, the goal and the reason why we wanted to be close to the college campus is to build up future leaders, and then to send them out to go help start new churches all over Tucson, so that there is healthy churches all across the city. And especially when you consider the infrastructure of the city, how it's designed, and like there's just one highway around, the side, and getting around town can be a little bit difficult because it's all city streets.
Right.
We just see a desperate need to place healthy churches across the city, literally on every corner. And so for us, that's our long-term vision is we want to saturate Tucson with gospel-proclaiming, Bible-believing churches. Okay. And we think the college campus is one of the strategic tools to kind of get us there. That being said, we do not have a desire to necessarily be just a college church.
Mm-hmm. It's welcome to everyone.
Yeah. So our hope is to have, really, when we see ourselves as like a bridge between the university campus and the city and the community.
Right.
And our hope is to make that bridge strong, and then to, again, raise up leaders and then send them out to start new churches across the city.
Yeah. Usually, healthy churches have multi-generations in them.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
And even that's a great point. And like, even for like college students, we believe that the healthiest thing for a college student is to be a part of the local church. Mm-hmm. And a healthy local church is a multi-generational component of that.
Sure. You have the older people that can serve as mentors, and then you have the younger families, and then you need the kids because the next generation.
College students can pour into the kids. And
right.
Yeah,
exactly.
So that's a key aspect of how like discipleship just holistically works from generation to generation to generation. And so that is certainly a big part of the vision as well, is to frame it up like that, to continue, again, to build up leaders and send them out. So
very good. Well, let's take a quick break, and we will be back in just a couple minutes with Southwest Flavor.
In Marana, community isn't just where we live, it's who we are. And at the heart of it all is the Marana Chamber of Commerce. We are building a thriving community through connected business leadership. We start the month bright and early with Marana Mornings, sparking real conversations and connections. We celebrate growing networks at our 4th Tuesday mixers, hosted in exciting spaces. We unite visionaries and leaders at Impact Marana, driving meaningful progress together. We look ahead with Marana Insights, hearing directly from regional voices about what's next for our town. And we serve, through the passion of our board of directors and ambassadors, creating a culture of belonging through service and leadership. Because of our members, we're not just doing more, we're becoming more. Together, we're shaping the future of Marana. We are the Marana Chamber of Commerce.
Looking for a delicious meal or a place to cater your next event? Visit Tucson Tamale Market, located at 7286 North Oracle Road. They're a family-friendly restaurant and market offering authentic tamales and local products. Don't miss out on their summer bi-weekly specials. Try a new $10.99 meal special every couple of weeks. During the summer, enjoy their gift card special. Buy $50 of gift cards for only $40. Stop by and see what's new at Tucson Tamale Market.
Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road will help you with all your insurance needs. If you feel like you have a hard case due to a moving violation, a DUI, a suspended license or a car accident, contact us and come to Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road and get a quote today. Open late hours y hablamos español. Estrella Insurance, an agency you can trust.
It's July and we're celebrating Independence Day all month. Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing wants to buy your old air conditioning unit. For the month of July, we will buy back your old AC unit for $1,776 with the purchase and installation of a new air conditioning system. Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, keeping you cool all summer long. Call us at 520-492-0748 or picturerockspooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids is an inclusive community empowered and united by the strength of the human-animal bond.
It taught me responsibility. It taught me kindness and social interaction.
We have programs for every member of our community.
I love TRAK because I have 2 daughters. We come out here and get all of our energy out.
TRAK is my home away from home.
You can make a donation or even become a monthly donor.
Thank you for supporting TRAK, Tucson's Ranch. We hope to see you here soon.
I've had water and mold damage in my house twice. Both times I freaked out, but I called Steamy Concepts right away. If anyone tries to tell you to use someone else, just say no way and call Steamy today.
About a year ago, we had a flood in our kitchen, and we didn't think to call anyone else but Steamy Concepts. They were very professional, and we really enjoyed working with Steamy Concepts.
Steamy Concepts accepts all homeowners insurance. Call Steamy today or go to steamyconcepts.com.
All right, we are back talking with Chris Cummings of Doxa Church.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what people would expect when they walk into the church on Sunday morning.
Yeah. So at this point, Doxa looks like a normal church just inside of a middle school.
Sure.
And so, when you walk in, you'll be greeted by our parking team. There's some greeters outside to also greet you and welcome you in.
Oh, okay. You have the parking lot right there, right next to it?
The parking lot's right next to the school.
West of it? Okay.
Yep. So you can park there. Parking team there is just to greet you, help you find the front door. Can be a little confusing. And then greeting teams there to welcome you. There's
nice.
Fresh coffee and donuts every Sunday morning, just to help you feel at home and
Right.
feel welcome. So we tell our hospitality team, our goal is that when people come for the first time, that they feel welcomed, they feel loved, and then when they come again, that they feel known. And so that's the goal, is within that 1 week span to go from, I'm new to now I'm known. And so our hospitality team does a great job just greeting people, welcoming them in. And so, you'll walk in, probably meet some people along the way. Our usher team will help you find a seat in. We convert the cafeteria into a full-on worship space.
Okay.
And then our band will lead us. We use a full band, drums, bass,
nice.
guitars, the whole deal. And then our services last about an hour.
Okay.
So some worship on the front end, music on the front end. I usually preach for about 30 minutes, and then we take communion together and have some back end worship and music before we wrap up and close. And so there's also some spaces for if you got little kiddos. There's some kids ministry spaces as well in the school. So
cool. Okay.
there's about 4 or 5 different kids ministry classrooms for kids. So nurseries, toddler, pre-K, elementary classrooms. All for your kids to learn about Jesus in a way that really connects with them. And so, that's what it looks like when you come in.
That's so important. The first thing that you said about the hospitality team.
Yeah.
Because everyone wants to belong to something.
Yes.
And when you walk in there and if you're greeted and, the people are talking to you and friendly, it's like you're at home.
Yeah. Well, and we just
really
know that there's some people that are coming in that maybe you haven't been to church in a long time and you're skeptical, or maybe this is the first time you've ever gone. And we just want you to feel welcome,
Sure.
And that this is a place that you can belong to for a while and learn about Jesus at a pace that's comfortable for you. And so, we really help develop our greeting team and our hospitality team as much as we can, just to help just exude the warmth of the gospel to people, so that when we do preach the gospel, that their ears are open to hear it and to be able to respond to it and those kind of things. And so, we take a lot of care just to make sure that people come in, they feel welcome and cared for.
Yeah. And then on the music side, is it more traditional or is it more contemporary?
Yeah, definitely more contemporary. We do play a hymn every single Sunday. That's a big part of our rhythms. But more from a contemporary vibe for sure.
Wow, cool. So something that you'd hear on like K-Love or something like that?
Yeah. So some of the songs you hear on the radio are songs that we play. And so we try to mix in old hymns, so kind of modern flair, but some old lyrics and stuff like that too. And so, that's what typically you'll see on a Sunday morning at Doxa, is some fresh songs that you probably hear on the radio, contemporary vibe, but then also very much some hymns and some
They all have meaning.
Totally.
Even though that they're contemporary, they have more meaning to the songs.
Yeah. Some of the old lyrics of these hymns are so rich.
They're amazing.
Yeah,
they really are.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's fun. That's fun to have that full band and do the set, every week.
Yeah, no, it's great. And so it really creates an awesome environment for people to really engage with God and in a great way. And so if you come in, and we even if you come in and you're like, man, I don't really love loud music, we even have headphones for you to where you can just have some earplugs or headphones so that you can kind of dial it down a little bit. So, but that's what Doxa looks like on a Sunday.
Okay, all right. And with the music being more contemporary, is that for the younger crowd a little bit, or just
it's kind of to appeal to college age young adults and stuff like that. But then also just to use the instruments and the gifts that God's given our people to the best of our ability. And so, definitely appeal to that, but then also wanting to also use hymns and other things to make sure it's not just focused on what younger people are listening to, but also just expand a wider variety of people.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So earlier you were talking that you were in Houston. You're down at Galveston?
That's where we're from, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Ooh, so you probably were through some storms, some hurricanes and some...
Yeah, I went down there for college, and within 2 weeks of being there, Hurricane Ike hit Galveston, so I had to evacuate for my first semester, which was wild. But yeah, we had to dodge some hurricanes. There's a lot of humidity down there. So Tucson is such a breath of fresh air. There's so much humidity in Houston, and so many mosquitoes that come with humidity. And being here, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so nice.
Yeah.
To just be able to go into the shade and be cooler.
Right.
Whereas in Texas, you go into the shade and you're like, I'm still hot because the air is just hugging me like a blanket.
It's thick, yes.
Yeah. It's terrible.
I've been to Houston several times. You get off that plane and you're right.
Yeah.
It's just that air is thick.
Yeah. Yeah. So even like pools, I was not expecting swimming pools in Tucson to be so cold in the summer, or at least feel like that.
Sure.
Because in Houston, the humidity traps the heat. So it makes it even overnight, the pools are still heating up. So by July, this time right now in Houston, everyone's swimming pool is the same temperature as the outside air.
Ooh.
And so you just get in and you're like, I'm wet.
Yeah, it's a bathtub.
It's like a bathtub. It's like swampy water. And so here it's it's so refreshing and it's just nice. You can escape the heat so much nicer.
You definitely
here.
can cool down with the water here.
Yeah. So
but you get out and it's nice and dry.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone that's in Houston right now listening to this, you should move to Tucson. It's so much better weather-wise. It's so much nicer.
Houston's a pretty big city.
Yeah, I mean it's one of the fastest growing cities in the US. For a while, Houston was growing by about 1,700 people a week.
Oh, wow.
So it was just booming. I don't know what the rate is currently, but yeah, I mean, it's massive.
Yeah.
So, and the suburbs of Houston expand forever. It feels like you're always in a suburb of Houston. So
do they have several mega churches there?
They have a ton.
Yeah.
It's, there's probably one every other mile.
Wow.
There's mega churches all over the Houston area, and they do some great stuff for sure.
Good.
But yeah, it's a lot easier to find a church in Houston than maybe somewhere more like West Coast.
Okay. And they have a lot of colleges there too, don't they? They have several colleges in Houston.
They do, Rice, University of Houston, probably your two big ones.
Yeah.
So especially Houston now, especially they're leveling up, and now that they're in the Big 12 and all those things, they're becoming more and more kind of well known amongst the college landscape.
Right.
Back when I was growing up, no one thought anything of Houston, and now all of a sudden they're like a contender,
They are.
A lot of sports.
Yeah.
Basketball being the biggest one. So,
right. Yeah. We see them every year.
We do. Yeah. Now that Big 12 shift is that's a basketball conference.
Yeah.
That
definitely.
is wild to see that many good teams in one conference.
Yeah. The competition in there is fierce.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, we made that shift to Tucson, and we've loved it here. So it's been great.
Cool. Are you planning on staying in Tucson?
We are. That is the long-term plan.
Okay.
So we feel like this is where God's called us to be for the rest of our lives. And so when we bought our house here in Tucson, we had this mentality of just hey, this might be the last home we buy. So it was just the way it's positioned is we could, it's not really like our forever home, but with the land that's around it that we also get, we can make it our forever home.
Oh,
and so my wife and I were like, yeah, we think that this might be where we are, forever. So we're nestled nicely in Midtown, right off of Grant and Campbell.
Oh, okay. Right by the U of A.
Right by the U of A.
Yeah,
my
far.
wife's a pediatrician at Banner, so she's super close to her job.
Oh, okay.
Our church is around the corner.
Yeah.
That's where we'll end up being for the long haul. And we really do want to spend the rest of our life just investing in healthy churches in Tucson, both in Doxa and the churches that come out of Doxa.
Yeah. Man, it takes a lot to manage a church, to have all the pieces there, all the people that are doing their little intricate things to make it work.
Yeah, I'm super grateful for our team. We were able to start off at the very beginning with 5 staff, so me plus 4 other people.
Oh, wow.
And so we were able to delegate responsibilities really well, like early on. And man, it's just really helped. Like, we had a great team. We had about 50 people on our core team before we even launched, which was just super helpful.
Wow. Yeah.
And so that just put us in a position to be able to delegate some responsibilities and leadership early on, just to create space and margin to be able to lead well and in a healthy manner. And so God's been doing some amazing things like since we've launched. We've our first semester in the fall, we averaged about 250 people on a Sunday.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This past spring was about 350. Our first Easter was 650.
Wow.
And then we've seen 22 people like come to faith and express it through baptism. And so right now we're seeing about 1 of every 13 people in our church be baptized on average. And so that's been just really cool. But a lot of that's not possible without having just great staff from day one and leadership diversity and some killer volunteers to help, set everything up. Because, we meet in a middle school. So we got to get there, like 2.5 hours before the service starts to set everything up and then stay an hour after, tear everything down. And so our team really has done just a phenomenal job recruiting and getting people in, and people are just excited to invest in what God is doing. And so it's been really great. But that team from day one has been absolutely vital and crucial.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
And just to keep the people intrigued, just keep their attention and coming back every week.
Yeah. And help them find like community, in small group settings.
Right.
And, in serve teams and with each other. And there's so many like just cool stories of what God's doing in people's lives through the means of just other people that they're now connected to. It's been just a really great thing to be a part of. Like every now and then I have to like pinch myself and be like, I cannot believe that I get to be a part of what God is doing right now, like in Tucson, which is way cool. And that's just a fragment of like the rest of the story. There's other healthy churches all across our city that are doing amazing things, and we get to partner with them and be a part of what God is doing as a whole, which is really cool.
And you don't have to worry about hurricanes.
Oh, thank God, no. Yeah, I know. It's so nice. I know. It's like, my biggest fear is like, is there a monsoon that's going to be like crazy? But also like monsoons are like kind of awesome, especially in the middle of the summer. And so, I know it is really nice not to have to board up your house every, year because there's a hurricane that's threatening to,
You don't have to evacuate or anything.
I know. So it is really great. We absolutely love it here, and we love the Wildcats. We love Tucson. Like, it's been great.
Fantastic. So if people don't know where Mansfield is, can you tell them where it is and what time your church service is?
Yes. I believe, I think the address, I could get this wrong. I should know the address. I think the address is 1300 East 6th Street.
Okay.
Is where Mansfield Middle School is. You can also just search Mansfield. You can also just go to Arizona Stadium.
Yeah.
That's probably your best landmark. And then just see that pink middle school literally diagonal from
it's
the
on
stadium.
The corner of Highland and 6th Street.
And 6th,
yeah.
yes.
And there's actually a stoplight there.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. That's where we are. We gather every Sunday morning at 10 a.m.
Okay.
And so, if you're interested, we'd love for you to come join us on a Sunday and see what God is doing and see what Doxa is like.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right, that is another episode of Southwest Flavor. Join us every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. We'll see you on Thursday.